the 3D reconstruction part, which is also, we have seen a lot of questions about the 3D reconstruction. Lucas, if you can hear us, because XGRIDS team is doing an amazing job of
Hi
bringing a lot of
guys.
opportunity. Hello, hello. And Lucas from Opus Lab 3D, they are one of the few studios that actually combine world models, 3D GS reconstruction, and lots of other superpowers under the same project. They have a very interesting SIGGRAPH approach project. So I would like to give the stage to Lucas to talk a little bit about that project and also about how we can take a workflow as a key takeaway today, that we can utilize the XGRIDS camera in the best way possible. Stage is yours.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me. It's a little bit late because I'm hailing from Hong Kong, so I get like three brain cells left. But let's push. Can you see my screen? It's you should see my test screen.
Yes, we can see your screen. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Let's roll then. So my name is Lucas. I'm a director of Opus Lab. It's a boutique R&D and design studio, and we are pushing the limits of 3D design, broadly understood. I'm also a faculty member at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, and I'm a Del Pro Precision ambassador. More on that later in the presentation. So I've spent the last 10 years hacking, breaking game engines, mainly Unity, Unreal, to design real-time animations, procedural content, XR experiences. I've been doing virtual production before it was cool. So that was the knowledge that I took when I finally discovered radiance fields and 3DGS in 2023. And actually, for the last three years, both with Opus Lab and academically, I've been exploring this realm. So I think that right now we have a huge question. Uh, how the convergence of capture-based and synthetic 3D content generation reshape creative practices, and very broadly understood. So we're talking both visualization, we talk storytelling, gaming. Uh, this is the big question that together with my team we've been trying to answer. Uh, since Ian showcased some real-time demos, I was like, how about me as well? So if you're on a computer right now, you can I send the link. You can visit the spatial home of Opus Lab. Over there, you'll find some interesting demos and use cases. Captured splats. We have a great comparison between Marble and other 3D generative tools. So just feel free to browse, feel free to explore that. But this is our main topic today. So when we look at 3DGS, we basically have two options. Either we can synthesize it, we can generate it, and this is what Ian has been showing. So we can use tools like WordLabs, Marble, uh, to create 3DGS assets directly from text or from image prompts. And so technically, no real world reference is needed. And on the left hand side, you see a screenshot from one of the 3DGS assets we generated with Marble for our creative project Threads of Color. And on the right, you see a Portal Cam, XGRIDS Portal Cam 3D scan. And actually, this is one of the scans that we will be sharing for the hackathon participants to use. I totally see a nice FPS shooter made in that in that urbex space. Uh, and if we concentrate on the capture 3DGS, on the 3DGS that comes from real-life objects and real-life environments, again, we have two options. We can either use RGB only capture, which is a fancy way of saying that you can use any kind of lens. So I saw in the chat there were questions about Quest, there were questions about drones, there were questions about 360 cameras. So this all works for, of course, different fidelity levels, different workflows, but whatever has anything that has any kind of lens or a photo camera can be used to actually make 3D content. But on the other end of the spectrum, there's also the SLAM way. So you can actually leverage SLAM scanners, which is about simultaneous localization and mapping. And those scanners, they combine the potential of RGB cameras. So as you can see here, we have spherical lenses here, and they are also equipped with LiDAR. So thanks to this, we not only capture what the camera can see in the visible spectrum, but we can also capture all the geometry, all the hard surfaces. And this opens up a very interesting workflow for actually having quite accurate collisions and meshes that are quite helpful for accurate lighting calculations. I think all the game engine and Blender people already know what I'm talking about. So if we have two workflows, if we can just use your iPhone, why would we bother with SLAM scanners? So this is a comparison. So RGB only capture, it definitely wins on accessibility and speed for small isolated assets, where visual look matters more than metric precision. Here, this is a screen grab from one of our early projects. That was one of the first creative 3D projects. It's called Liminal Constellations. It was presented last year at SIGGRAPH Vancouver. What you see at the end of the video, it was actually a 3D print by one of the hackathon partners, Krista AI. More on that at the hackathon, I suppose. And if we want to capture a larger space, a bigger environment, then the best way is to use the SLAM scanner. So then we have accurate collisions alongside very accurate, high detailed visual layer assets as well, because we have we get all the spatial relationships and collisions and geometry accurately reconstructed as it really exists in real world. And since Ian was showcasing 40 million splats, I'm gonna beat it with 49 million splats rendered in a browser. This scan comes from XGRIDS portal cam scan. And the Arrival Space team actually managed to offer a workflow that we could leverage, and based on that, we could host 49 million splats. This is SOG format, so there was a question here: SPZ versus SOG. As you can see, it really depends on your workflow. It really depends on your use case. Both formats are quite nicely optimized for web use cases. And if we talk about SLAM scanners, XGRIDS is the way to go. I've been using XGRIDS scanners for the last 2 years for most of both my personal projects and the projects we do for our clients. So how the workflow looks like, you'll be able to experience this in full during the hackathon, but there are generally 4 steps. So first you have to scan it, scan an environment, scan an object. Then you need to process it. There is a dedicated software provided by XGRIDS for reconstruction. It's called LCC Studio. It only works currently. It only works on a PC on a Windows machine with NVIDIA GPU, because there's some CUDA magic involved. There's also a cloud-based reconstruction. I think it's currently still in beta. But XGRIDS will soon roll it out for general public to use. And then there is the third phase, is actually edit or export. And The XGRID just released their dedicated editing suite, LCC Scene and Model Editor. This is something that I will demonstrate during the pre-hack lecture as well. But you can also use other well-known splat-based tools. You can use SuperSplat for editing or for merging different 3D GS assets. You can also use Lichtfield Studio or Lichtfeld Studio for animation or for other splat use cases. And I think the last stage that's really interesting for the community here, you can actually implement those scans in a game engine, either Unity or Unreal. And there are two ways. XGRIDS offers dedicated SDKs both for Unity and for Unreal, but you can also use any kind of third-party SDK or plugin. For example, one of the partners of the hackathon, Volinga, they offered a great Unreal 5 plugin with some relighting options. This is really applicable to VFX and virtual production use cases. So stage one. So this is scanning. And what you're seeing here is it's actually me scanning some murals in downtown Hong Kong that will later on they will be turned into 3D assets in an interactive experience that Opus Lab is currently making in collaboration with HTC. On the left-hand side, you can see me scanning and examining the scan just before saving it. And on the right hand side, you see a screen grab from my iPhone. Actually, this is a real life, real time visualization of me walking in a park and scanning the park. And what you see in real time right now, it's actually point cloud that's being generated in real time using the SLAM approach. Then stage two, so processing, so LCC Studio. As you can see, you have different options, and currently it's capped at 50 million splats. Leveraging Dell Pro Max T2 with RTX 6000. I have lots of VRAM. I have 96 gigs of VRAM to use, so I usually crank it up at max and then downgrade whenever I need. But you can really reconstruct very large spaces quite accurately. Stage three, so edit export. As you can see, there is a screenshot from SuperSplat here. So then you can export actually your XGRIDS 3D GS reconstructions either as a non-compressed PLY or as an LCC. There's also because I remember there are some robotics people in the crowd. You can also export USD assets, so you can take it straight into Omniverse and more industry use cases and robotics use cases. What you can also export, since there are questions about collisions and meshes, you can also export highly detailed OBJ file that can be used alongside your splat asset, again, for collisions and for lighting calculations in 3D software. And implementation, Marble is here. Actually, this is quite ancient by today's standards. What you see in the biggest screen grab here is actually an Unreal 5 scene. And here I combine the Portal scan and the Marble beta. That was because I did it in September, October, so very early on in the history of Marble. I basically took a photo of the same street and then I scanned this street, and just to see if there is any uncanny valley, how those real life splats and the generated splats would talk to one another. And that was also an illustration of XGRIDS Unreal 5 SDK. There's also top top view, you can also see this is an older XGRID scanner, Lixel K1. And here we scanned in the historical mansion here in Hong Kong for a cultural heritage project. And we needed both a digital twin level of geometrical accuracy and a good enough visual representation. So that's why we opted for a SLAM scanner, and we didn't rely only on RGB data. So again, it really depends on your use case and on the industry that you're working in. So just to summarize, we are currently developing threads of color. This is an two kinds of spatial memory in one experience. It's gonna be a spatial exploration, an urban experience set in downtown Hong Kong, and it's gonna be powered only by 3DGS. And the surface, let's call it level one, will be composed of photorealistic SLAM captures of murals, dozens of murals in downtown Hong Kong. And the underground, you may call it dungeon level, will come from AI synthesized dungeon network that's going to be built beneath the streets. And it's going to be a walking sim meets treasure hunt kind of mechanics. And it's going to be developed. It's being developed by us right now. We are backed by Vivers. Um, we are also supported by XGRIDS with full portfolio of their scanners for different use cases. Again, at the hackathon, I'll be able to talk a little bit more on that. My role with Dell and with NVIDIA, so we're going to leverage all the local processing power. I do remember there were questions about how you can actually use local gear to make your splat, so we will be leveraging that. And we are super happy that Word Labs decided to help us out on the 3D GS synthesis front. We are also testing, so we are right now we're testing both Spark and Play Canvas. We haven't really decided yet. It's going to be decided soon. But no matter what we choose, we're quite optimistic on the delivery, on the possibility of actually making a fully fledged interactive experience made only of splats. And just to close it, so on the left-hand side, you see a Marble 1.1 Plus. That's going to be actually the first splat from the dungeon level from that game. And on the right-hand side, you see level one made out of XGRIDS scans blocked out. So this is the current stage of the experience. Probably when we meet next week in LA, I'll be able to show you a little bit more because things are progressing every day. We are pushing things forward. So thank you very much. I'm open to take questions. If you want to get in touch with me, the best way is to use LinkedIn. And please do check out Opus Lab websites to learn more. So thank you very much.
Amazing, Lucas. Thank you very much for this 3D reconstruction focused topics. I think what you guys are building with word models and with the 3D reconstruction is amazing. I don't know if there are so much other projects like that, so I'm really looking forward to hearing more about the updates about that. So there was actually one question before from Camilo. Would you like to answer that first? So it was a little bit long question. We can start with that. Um, I'm using Nerve Studio running on local to generate the environment splat, real cities, and some forests, but it's demanding in local resources and sometimes not the best quality. Do you know any other workflow app I can use for better splats, fast or less demanding, running on local only? I'm using high quality images that works perfect on Bentley, RC, 3D flow photogrammetry constructions, but not so much on Nerve Studio.
So whenever I'm using just RGB only workflows, I would usually combine a reality scan to do the alignment, and then I would train everything in Lichtfield Studio. So the famous open source Lichtfield Studio. It's the most stable local solution right now. And what is even more important is this is open source and community driven. They really implement the latest research and the latest algorithms quite fast. Uh, so if you want the latest approaches, I think Lichtfield Studio is the way to go. Of course, there is also post shot. I think post shot would be better for, roughly speaking, creative industries, because I know lots of VFX studios that would use post shot, because they have some, they have some special features that really that are really important for industries that are interested in the highest possible image quality, like EXR, 16-bit, and so on.
Perfect, perfect. So there are a few more questions. Um, this is something maybe interesting for you. What would you recommend for cleaning up splats captured using iPhone 360 cam or normal camera?
Uh, I would recommend to focus on the capturing, actually. So, garbage in, garbage out. So actually, if you're just using RGB, it's super important to have as clean data set as possible. Uh, so this is if I can, I usually concentrate on having good data, because as many of you know, it's quite painful and time consuming to manually clean any floaters or glitches or image artifacts. So I just try to scan as in a as good as possible. And I see one question here, and I need to address it. So Arrival Space is same company under Opus Lab? No, it's not. We are so. Arrival Space, they provide state-of-the-art hosting for Splat assets and for Splat-based web experiences. So we are one of the companies that collaborate with them. So we're not; those are different entities, but we're good friends.
What is the projected completion for threads of color?
So it's Q4 this year.
Amazing. Keep us updated. We are really excited to
We
hear
will,
about them.
yes, we will buy weekly updates.
Amazing, amazing. Kamil is asking, does the LCC work with captures from other devices, drones, camera, iPhone?
Since very recently, yes. There is an option to upload. I don't have the numbers in my head right now, but you can upload a few minutes long video, and then the LCC Studio will extract frames from it, and based on that, it will reconstruct 3D from drones. Up until very recently, only pro drones with RTK. Uh, but right now, I know the XGRIDS has introduced some changes, but I haven't followed up on that one. So I don't know if
Okay.
if consumer drones are supported at this point.
Kyle is asking, SOG versus SPZ, does it really matter for storage, or what really matters is actually the runtime ready format for WebXR or Unity VR app?
I mean, I've been using more SOG because we're quite deeply in Play Canvas based workflows these days, like the last few weeks. But whenever I would use and of course credit to Scaniverse and to Ian, with many of my students, actually the first contact with 3DGS is and was through Scaniverse. So then we would work with SPZ. So it really depends. I think it really depends on the workflow and on the environment that you're working with. That's why, despite all the great compressions that 3DGS currently has, I'm always a big fan that any kind of tool, any kind of service that deals with 3DGS should still offer uncompressed PLYs, because it's not the ideal format, but this is still the format that's super helpful in moving between workflows and moving between ecosystems.
Kyle is asking Decimate versus other 3D GS compression methods.
Excuse me, could you repeat that?
Decimate versus other 3D GS compression methods.
I mean, there were some. There was I think 1 year ago. I do remember there was this decimation trend before the SOG came into being, and I did experiment with that. But since the new formats came with the Octree chunk streaming, like Ian was explaining, I kind of stopped doing the decimation. So something might have changed since last year. But I cannot comment on that. There's I always joke with Michael Rubloff that 1 year ago it used to be five ratings fields papers a day. Now it's 15 or even 25. So it's super hard to keep up actually. So there might be some great tools that nobody heard about yet. That's why it's
Perfect.
so important to come to SIGGRAPH and to meet those researchers. So you're gonna be one of the first ones who will have this knowledge actually.
Okay, Kyle is asking construction and manufacturing benefits, advantages for SLAM 3D GS LiDAR with XGRIDS. Are you seeing any construction manufacturing benefits?
So XGRIDS, actually the roots of XGRIDS is in construction, is in AEC. So they have the K2 scanner and L2 Pro scanners, and those are super pro in industry grade reality capture scanners. But I'm not an industry reality capture guy, so I cannot. I'm more of a creative industries, so I can comment on that. But definitely those reality capture oriented scanners that they are state of the art. They have RTKs built in. Yeah, all the things that are necessary.
Kamini is asking, I think, similar question. Do you know any other workflow or app I can use for better splats, fast or less demanding running on local only? And he think that your work is absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate it, and of course my team as well. Uh yeah, so as I said, reality scan and then Lichtfield. That would be my Q2 2027. Things might change next month. Uh but Q2 2026 or 766. Yeah, it's 3:30 a.m. Sorry guys.
Sorry. But yeah, things are changing very fast. Uh, we have a few more questions left. Lucas, sorry for making you a little bit awake, but um,
No worries. I'm already adjusting to the LA time. So
time zone, exactly,
yeah,
like me, perfect. Uh, Joseph is asking, splats can be converted into meshes?
yes, they can.
Okay.
They can. There are a couple. I don't have them in my head right now. But there are several open source tools that can do it. But for creative industries, people in the crowd, there are several tools as well to turn very heavy mesh and texture-based Unreal scenes into splats. So you can actually, and there are some plugins for Blender as well. So if you have a super heavy static scene in Unreal or in Blender, you can convert them into splats and then use all these great compression tools. And instead of having a super heavy scene, that's hundreds of megabytes, you have like a 50 meg uh, file that you can share. So there are different conversions that you can leverage actually.
Amazing. Stephanie is asking for object export format. Are textures and colors baked in?
So in Splats, there's good news and there's bad news. Good and there's a news. So there are no textures in Splats because each individual splat has color values embedded. So you don't work with textures, you work with millions of blobs actually. That's why one of the main challenges these days is to come up with a way to relight splats. Because right now, of course, Ian might know something more, but he can't share probably. But many great teams right now are working on ways on how we can actually work with different lighting in Splats. So because right now it works more or less like baked lighting.
Perfect. Daniel is asking, typically I do full 80 MP 4K photo capture rather than video as the compressor that compresses each frame, but I feel like what I'm missing is LiDAR data without having to buy a dedicated LiDAR SLAM camera. Is there a combo that can be done?
I've seen some tinkerers online. You can follow Adam Hafkin. Adam Hafkin. He's been experimenting with, and of course Andriy Shramko as well. Andriy Shramko. Uh, they've been experimenting with different kinds of rigs and strange, obscure setups to actually find an interesting angle. I haven't experimented with that. There's only 7 days in a week, and if I find a tool that it's working, I, I
You
tend
stick with
I
it.
tend to use it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
tend to use
exactly,
it.
exactly. Perfect. Another question, splats can be converted into meshes. I think we already
Yeah.
talked about that. Um, okay, why real scan instead of meta shape? What are your thoughts on 360 cameras like Osmo or recent 360 drones as capture methods?
So again, a lot has changed in the 360 domain regarding splats. This area has been dormant for the first 2 years of Splat, and a lot has happened over the last few months. I haven't looked into that yet uh, too much, but there are several companies working on that. For example, you can check out Splatica. They offer cloud-based 3D reconstruction from Insta 360. So there are pipelines forming right now. There's also anti-gravity drone from Insta. So definitely this is a viable way uh, of achieving pretty convincing 3D. I just haven't experimented with it for the last 3-4 months, and knowing the pace of development, I have like ancient knowledge at this point. So I can't comment on that right
Okay.
now.
How much, I mean, let's be quickly finish that in the next 60 seconds, 2 minutes. How much AI compatible is Opus Labs? I think you are very well AI compatible as Opus Lab.
We are AI compatible, but we are humans.
Exactly.
We are still humans. You will see in LA flesh and bone.
Flash, exactly, exactly. So that's why we are doing in-person hackathons, right? Otherwise, we will not understand who is human, who is not. Kamil is asking, what would you recommend to use for cleaning up splats based on RGB captures?
I mean, I've seen some, again, I haven't tested yet, but I've seen some very interesting tools that merge diffusion-based models with put on top of like ingested into the 3D reconstruction pipeline. So I think very interesting things will, like on the automation side, will be coming in a few months. NVIDIA at SIGGRAPH, they will be presenting RT. I shared it on LinkedIn today. Art Fixer.
Okay.
Uh, Yes, I think it's our. I'll check it because this is.
Our team will look at your LinkedIn. Today's post. We'll
Yes,
post it.
yes. So there will be a paper and a code and demo by NVIDIA, and they've been uh, combining RGB based splats with the diffusion models to clean up floaters and clean up reconstruction artifacts. So I think we will have to be even more AI compatible in the 3DGS domain.
Perfect, perfect. So, one last question for you. What is your opinion on 4D splats, video splats?
I think it's amazing. It's a lot of things are happening behind the curtains, and I can't talk about them at this point. But fingers crossed, and I really believe that unlike VR, was it called VR cinema? Or there was a time like 10 years ago they tried to convert every legacy movie into 360 or like VR. I don't
Stereoscopic,
remember.
stereoscopic.
Yeah, stereoscopic.
Yeah,
Yes, and this didn't work out, as we know.
yeah,
And I'm a firm believer that for DGS will finally bring us into the era of widespread spatial media. Because there are great teams. You can check out Gracia AI, you can check out
yeah.
4DV AI, and many more companies that are pushing the absolute limits with even streaming for DGS over web right now.
Amazing, amazing. Yes, that's great. I think we have one more question, which is related with me and the XGRIDS team. I think Faye is here with us. I don't know if you can hear us, Faye, but
Yes, I can.
yeah, perfect, perfect. So,
Hello.
thank you
Hi,
for
Lucas.
joining as well. I know that XGRIDS is really committed to 3D reconstruction, and then you are also committed to the hack as well. So, we would love to really see interesting XGRIDS powered projects. One question was, can I take it for 2 days? It may not be possible, but for 2 hours, it is possible, definitely. We want to make
Yeah.
sure that you others can also use that because we have so many hundreds of hackers and still limited number of XGRIDS devices, but we will do our best to maintain. So I strongly recommend our team will
Hmm.
share the form for loaning from us. So it's like you will book your camera for free. You will give your ID card, and then we will provide the camera to you for a few hours. So please talk with our team because they can basically or submit to the form to our team so that they can already maintain the possibilities with you. With the XGRIDS team, I think we will do our best to make sure that you guys can really capture as much as you can before the hack. Because during hack time, you will not have enough time. So we want to make sure we maintain that as early as possible.
And
That's great.
one last message from me, wearing the teacher hat right now. Whatever device you use for 3DGS capturing, you should always walk slower than you think you should be walking. So walk slower.
That's a good point. Yeah, you
Faye,
need to have a
anything you
lot
want to
of
share
patience.
as XGRIDS? Anything you
Uh,
want to
ex-
like any advice or anything you would like to share before we move to the next session?
yeah, so we will bring a few units, so both the Port and the K2. So if there's anyone want to test the K2 scanner, you can also get the 1 unit and before the hackathon. Yeah, before
Perfect.
SIGGRAPH.
Perfect, perfect. Yes, that's great. So we will be able to maintain as much as we can. And the good news is one lucky team will get a portal scan and then also take it as well. We also have some interesting for those who want to um, purchase this device as well after the hack, let us know because we have a special thing that we are arranging with Faye. So make sure that for those who wants to have one of these devices, we would like to also support our hackers as well. So this is an amazing opportunity. Thank you XGRIDS team, Faye, thank you, Lucas, for making 3D reconstruction more accessible in terms of knowledge, in terms of making the hardware available. Our role is to make this basically superpowers come to an experimental playground. So we will probably see a lot of interesting use cases like your project, Lucas. So we will probably see each other at the hack in 10 days.